Mexico 0, Japan 0, in a pretty excruciating game to watch. Hella boring. I'm not gonna lie. We were up there in the press conference. Not much. Only two shots on target from the national team. Japan had a couple good opportunities, maybe two as well. It was a very tight match, a very disciplined match for both teams. Initial thoughts, bro?
I mean, it's just I expected this because we talked about this.
Yeah.
I just expected maybe Javier Aguirre having a change maybe in the second half, where he did change to a five back, but having instead of keeping Gallardo and Jorge Sanchez switching to Mateo and Rodrigo Huescas because. I mean, the Japanese are very dynamic. They're very dynamic. They're very quick.
Technical,
we saw
yeah.
technical ability is through the roof. I don't know how they got so good in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
My thought is this: if you're playing against a technical team, wouldn't you want your most technical wingbacks in the match?
Yeah. Especially because, I feel like through the wingback position, I feel like we were doing well defensively. But going forward, I mean, we saw Gallardo go up twice. Jorge Sanchez maybe put in one cross in the 80th minute. And other than that, there was no threat on the wings. I mean, Alexis Vega, very quiet. Piojo as well. I mean, it's hard when you have a very disciplined team we saw Japan. They had basically 6 at the back at some point. They were playing very aggressive as well. I think it was 20 fouls, about 20 fouls for each team as well.
It's this defensive ideology where kind of like we were looking at it. We're trying to figure out what was happening. The double six, they dropping between the center backs.
It was Endo and I forgot the other, but it was Endo and someone
and
other.
the two right and left center backs go up into the wings, and we were looking at this and how the fuck does this work?
Yeah, basically Matomo was playing a left back, and then who's the right?
I forgot, but
one of their midfielders played right wing.
Yeah, the thing is this: those 2 sixes when they drop in, they see everything in front of them. The ball's coming in, they see it. Marcel Ruiz is hitting the ball, they see it, and they clamp them up like that. And it's something that we were able to adjust to gladly. I told you oh look, Javier Aguirre switched the formation, and when they were defending with 6, we were attacking with 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't have anything against that. My ideology is this. In the Copa Oro, we saw Mateo Chavez again and Julian Araujo this time instead of Huescas, kind of pressing those. The wing backs were so high up, and I felt like that would have been the perfect move to make, because if you're going to attack with 5, have your 2 best wing backs attack with them, with those other 3 players.
Yeah. Overall, very disappointing. I think just we lacked a lot of threat going forward. Obviously, we're missing some important players like the under 20 players, but they're playing the under 20 World Cup very soon. It's kind of like we mentioned in the podcast before. It's what we have, and it's really when you're bringing on Piojo, when you're bringing on Charlie, when you're bringing on Orbelin from the start, when you're bringing on Lira, you're not really bringing on a lot of game changers like Amoras, for example. We need someone like him that's creative, that can find those little pockets of space, that can actually create something out of nothing. By the way, we are still inside of the Oakland Stadium where Mexico and Japan just played. Literally, the players are warming up right behind us. Just some of the players that didn't get any action, like Chiquete, Lainez, Mateo, Huescas, Santi even as well, getting some reps, even though he played for a good amount.
Yeah, I think it's what it looks like to be. It looks optional for the starting 11 and the players that did play.
Yeah,
and
some players that didn't play.
And some players that did play are still out here. So
yeah.
Maybe it might be optional because most of the starting 11 isn't here.
Yeah, probably just get to some time together, get their legs warm and shit. But overall, what would you rate this match? I mean, in a preparation level for the World Cup, like we said, this is a match, a team like Japan. Keep in mind they are top in Japan. They are one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant team in Asia. And we're gonna likely face a rival like them. Maybe not exactly Japan, but it could be a possibility.
It could be Korea. It could be third best team in Asia.
We can definitely face a team like that. But we know a team like Japan have given a lot of headaches to a lot of important selecciones in recent time. Looking at Germany, Spain. Overall, I think I would probably give this match from a Mexican standpoint, I'd probably give it a 5. I feel like we did nothing. Yeah. But from a preparation standpoint, I think we get to learn a lot. So I'd give it a 10 as a preparation standpoint.
For both, I'd give it a 6, just because I think on a preparation, you want to take your best players, and we're not able to do that.
All right. I'll bring it down a little bit.
Well, that's just my idea. And I don't feel like we were able to do that, leaving out Gilberto Mora, leaving out, team players that I think could take up positions that are kind of for these players that we already know what they bring, especially Charlie Rodriguez. Orbelin Pineda. We know what they bring, throwing Elias Montiel right there and Orbelin Pineda. Give Osbel Vargas a chance. We saw that he's young. He still has a fucking future.
Yeah.
He could develop. Orbelin has already hit the ceiling that he hit, and that's that. He's a decent player. He moves the ball.
Bench. I think just off the bench
is where he's the ball, but give Obed a chance, especially in a game like this, where he ended off having 4 or 5 subs back to back. You know, he ended up putting Charlie.
He made like 5 subs in like one window, 4 or 5 subs in one window.
He knows what Charlie brings to him. I don't understand why he keeps bringing him instead of giving a player like Obed a chance.
We should go tell him that right now. Nah, overall, like, what was I say? Overall, I mean, we still have one more match. We got South Korea, who just defeated the USA. One of the questions that they asked in the press conference was kind of crazy. Like, oh, how absurd that, you know, the level of the two host countries, really talking about USA and Mexico, obviously tying today, and then USA losing against South Korea. I think that is something to evaluate. But I mean, when looking at other host countries, it's not like we're one of the worst ones either.
In my opinion, that question was really out of place. Like, I don't say that I don't rate this Mexico team highly. But look at the players we brought. You know, look at the players we left out.
Yeah.
And look at what Japan brought. Japan brought their best of the best.
It's an A team.
Their A team, full A team, and versus a mixture of A and B team. You know, a mixture of players that we have used under Jaime Lozano, like especially like Charlie, and now transforming into this new, you know, era. We're looking at. He didn't bring Gilberto Mora, which is really the player that kind of, you know, broke a lot of lines in the past World Gold Cup. Maybe he wasn't going to do that today, but just having him out here would have been very different.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about this. There was no depth offensively.
Yeah, no creativity. Now, going into another topic I kind of want to talk about. I mean, you guys see the stadium behind me. This is obviously a baseball stadium. We saw 3 injuries. I don't know if the pitch had anything to do with that. Do you just like, maybe it's like not even have to do with the national team or anything, but it's just like in international windows, obviously before World Cup, it's kind of sucks seeing like important players going down, like in Edson Alvarez specifically. Obviously, as a Mexican national team fan and journalist and pundit, like it's tough seeing one of Mexico's most important players, obviously the captain, going out right before an important tournament. Obviously, and I hope that he'll come back just fine. He just signed with Fenerbahce. I don't know how that will affect him at club level because they just sacked Jose Mourinho. A new coach is barely coming in, and now he's not going to have him at his disposal.
My idea is this, you know, for the players that did get injured, I mean, look, keep in mind this. This is like something that I've always seen. Players always get injured, you know, they take 2-3 weeks off, you know, of their club, usually in the summer, you know, when they get that vacation, and they come back, and it's just a different intensity. I mean, we saw Edson Alvarez get injured around the same time last year, and it's the same thing, you know, they take 2-3 weeks off, they're probably relaxing a little bit more, their muscles aren't moving as much for 2-3 weeks, and then they come back, try to move it as they were when they were playing. And I mean,
and it took a while to see him back at his top level. I mean, if we've even seen it in a while.
Prior to that injury with West Ham, he was playing fairly decent.
He was key.
He was playing very decent, and now, you know, he was fairly decent, and then he kind of just dropped to a point where it was questionable.
Yeah.
And that's what they saw, you know, giving him that option of going on loan to Fenerbahce.
Yeah. Honestly, like, it looks like a pretty bad injury. We'll keep you guys updated with that. We'll see what happens. Looks like the same hamstring. So we'll see what happened with that. Obviously, wishing him nothing but a speedy recovery. Anyways, regarding the match, I wanted to throw in, like, the incredible support for the Mexican national team. Guys, I mean, I don't know if you saw the match, but the support for the team was pretty insane here. It was like over 45,000 people that showed up. And really, everyone was loud. It was a nice environment to see, like, people from Oakland pulling up for their national team. Had been over 14 years since the Mexican national team has been here. So I think a lot of these people I think they deserve more, honestly. Like, given what we saw from this team, I feel like they definitely deserved a little bit more. But anything else we should add on? Anything final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I mean, I feel like we'll be fine for the World Cup. There's no way that this team doesn't compete at the level that we've seen them compete before, which is, you know, what we were used to be prior to this 2022, which was, you know, round of 16, quarterfinal exits, which I feel like that's just our ceiling. That's our ceiling as a national team until we change things in problems that we have in more depth of our development program. For what we have, it's probably our ceiling. It'd be a miracle if we got to semifinals.
I would hope so, but I completely agree.
I mean, if we got to the final, it'd be even more of a miracle. It'd be, you know, a blessing straight from the Lord. Yeah. And that's all we have right now. That's our ceiling. That's the quality of players we have. Seeing this Japan team, we're on the same level. And there's so many other teams on the level of Japan. You know, there's Uruguay. There's other teams.
Colombia.
I can name 8 to 10 teams that are on the same level of Japan. And
all right, name them.
All right, name them. Well, there's Colombia. There's Uruguay. There's
South Korea, I would say, was up.
South Korea's up there. What else? There's also Brazil. I mean, Brazil stooped down to a B, made a B.
I would say Germany as well.
Germany as well. And then there's also Italy.
I think Japan's a little higher than Italy at the moment.
I mean, there's just so many more teams, and if we fall into into those teams, our ceiling is a quarterfinal exit.
Yeah.
Semifinal if we're lucky.
Yeah, the good thing is that we're playing at home. You know, like Vasco said, he's like, I want to play every single game in Mexico, thinking of topping that group, which is a good mentality to have, which is what we want from the national team, from the players, to be thinking like, hey, we're only playing Mexico.
So one of the questions that they asked them, actually they asked them back to back, you know, they were saying like, oh, like there's a possibility you play in Santa Clarita, you know, like for the preparation, and then there's a possibility you play in the World Cup in LA. Like, how does that home field advantage work in your favor? Vasco doesn't even think about that.
Yeah.
He's
thinking about being top of the group.
I don't give a fuck about that. You know, I just think about Mexico right now because Mexico is what we have secured.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Love the press conference. I mean, if you guys see that, just skip my part. Skip my part. I feel like I got cooked by Vasco, but it is what it is. But thanks, Tomas, for hopping on. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, check all the platform links down below. Obviously, we'll try to bring you guys more live content like this in studio, but then also at events like this. Hopefully, we can get accepted to more events like this as well. So, thank you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.